I'm gonna make a quick snappy video about why I deleted social media.
Why? How? When? Where?
I've been off Snapchat, Instagram and Facebook now for about 8 months.
Why did I delete social media?
Because I ended up hating it. I ended up hating people and I ended up hating myself. I hated that I was wasting my time on there. It was like the answer to boredom. You'd get bored and then suddenly your hand would reach to the phone and type in F because you've already deleted the app at this point, but you're typing in F before you know it on Safari, and then you're like, half an hour later you know what Sally down the road had for breakfast. And naturally I was spending quite a bit of time on social media on a given day. So I was naturally wasting a lot of my time, and I tried to control it. I tried to take breaks.
Delete the app. Deactivate the thing. Off, on.
I just kind of did this dance with social media until I realized there is no way to use this in a non-addictive way. Maybe it's just me because I have quite an addictive personality. Upon further reading, I learned these apps are literally designed to be addictive. I was done with being rewarded for my participation in addiction. The rewards are like really subtle, like showing you a heart when someone likes your status, showing you a thumbs up or whatever. It does cause a release of a good little chemical in your brain telling you
You did a good thing.
the more you use it, the more the company profits from it, because the more advertisements you see and you click. And so someone's essentially profiting from my addiction, and I was like, you don't get that. You don't get to take my time, give me very little benefits, and then get money for it as well. Like, I was like, how about no? What I realized I was seeing was a little community of people also participating in this addiction. So we were all little addicts, sat round this fire of addiction, throwing little things in and watching it. And I just felt like I was with a bunch of people and we were all pretending that we were living our lives, and this was our life. Meanwhile, my real whole life is sat in the background like, you don't want me anymore? The bird flying across the skies, like, you don't wanna watch? Real life was calling me and I was not answering. It sounds extreme to some, but the thought that kept coming in my head when I was considering deleting all the things was, okay, what if I actually did die tomorrow, What the hell would I miss and what would I wish I'd done more of? For me, it was like the little things, like the bird in the sky or how the grass felt. It for sure wasn't scrolling on a never-ending feed or seeing someone's holiday photos. But the memes, the memes were good. You're not fully experiencing a moment when you're putting a phone there, a phone between like you and the experience. So like your brain is focused on that, seeing it through that, and your senses aren't fully active. I always had this like underlying voice of like, oh you should take a picture of that. Oh my God, that looks really cool. You should take a picture of that. And then everyone needs to see. And it's just like, it's just not fun. And it was one of those things in my head that I always thought, oh yeah, well, I'll delete it in the future. And apparently most people, when asked, will say, well, obviously I'm not going to be on it for the rest of my life. But then it's like, but your life is now. And at what point do you plan to delete that? And do you not think that you're just going to get more and more addicted as the years go by? And actually, as time goes by, you've invested more time and energy into it. So coming away from it is going to be harder. People say it's for memory. But like, you may remember it more if your whole body was physically there. And the thing about memories is, I think it's an excuse we give ourselves a lot, because how often do you actually ever go back and sit and look through everything? I had a lot of fake friends, and Facebook made me think that they were my real friends. And then when things turned ugly in my life, nobody said it was easy. They weren't there. But they were there on Facebook. They were there to like look into my little proverbial digital window at my life, and I could look into theirs, but we weren't actually friends. So it was like, why am I pretending? There's a fear of like losing those people. But for me, I was ready in my life to lose those people, cut out the people that are not actually in my life, that are on the periphery, see who's real, and the rest, they can be gone, because at least now I know my life is truthful. My life is truthful. My connections are truthful. If I meet someone, either we exchange numbers and we have like a one-on-one connection, or we leave our meeting in that moment, in that time, in that place, and move on. I would highly recommend it. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. It's not an easy process, but like, it provides space for growth, because if something's been taking up your time and then you remove it, you've got that time left, and then you can see who you really are. How do you want to fill that time? And if you're trying to fill it with another addiction, then you know maybe you've got issues you need to look at, or whatever. Or if you want to read or like make YouTube videos about why you did it, then you're a hypocrite. Delete social media. Save your photos. Get the numbers you want to get. I actually ended up meeting up with people that I haven't seen in ages, because I was like, you know what, guys, I'm deleting Facebook, off I go. And they were like, whoa, I hate Facebook too. A hold of my time, got a hold of like the decision-making process in my brain of like, I'm going to choose to do what I'm going to do. I'm not just going to do it because I'm addicted to it. Spend less time on my phone, more time watching the birds in the sky. And on my deathbed, I'm sure I'll thank myself with gratitude that I made this decision. One thing I hated the idea of as well was living and dying on Facebook, because they have birth. And we all know people that have died and their Facebook still exists. And it's like, oh, so you can just literally go and look at this whole life they had. And it's just not their life. It's not real life. It's a simulation. And you've got to make the decision. Do you want the reality, or do you want the simulation? I know technology is increasing and what we're going more towards. So for me, anytime I could kind of step back a bit and participate in the real stuff, then worked for me. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Delete them all.